It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Hey, PFF, you and I need to have a talk. I am not happy about where you placed Houston Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud on the list.
Big Sarge. What's up?
Why, yes. Yes, hold on one second. CJ, I do have something to say. Welcome to the Texas Happy Hour, right here on the Texas Tailgate Talk channel. Brought to you by, sponsored by, fueled by Big Sarge. Listen, not yet. It's coming, y'all. It's coming. It's coming. Hold on, let me turn this let me get this these things up here. Get these comments going on the screen as well. It's coming though. It's coming. We're gonna get some sponsorship up in here, I promise. And listen, let me tell you all something before I even start the show. Hey, y'all think that I be wanting sponsorship because I want money for myself? Nah, I want sponsorship because I got some things that I want to do by helping people out. I want to be able to help some people out, and I can't do that unless I'm able to get this sponsorship. So let me make sure I got myself together. There we go. I need sponsorship. So once I get some sponsorship, I'll be good to go. With that being said, welcome to the Texas Happy Hour right here on Texas Tailgate Talk podcast. What's going on, Sarah? Hey, listen, I don't know what's going on, y'all. I got to get myself together. Hold on one second. Here we go. Hey, what's going on, y'all? You're tuning to the Texas Happy Hour. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter and Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Texas Tailgate Talk, all one word. That's podcast too, available wherever you get your podcast from. And make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because, you know, we do everything for the gram. What's going on, Sarah? What's going on, Alexis? How y'all doing today? Thank you for joining us on the Texans Happy Hour. Y'all see I got my cup. Anybody else drinking something? Hey, you know what, though? In all honesty, I'm going to tell y'all this. I've been in talks with some people about sponsoring the Texans Happy Hour. I know a person who does wines, and I'm trying to get them to get involved in this Texans Happy Hour. I think that is something that that I really enjoy doing. I think that it was something that other people will enjoy as well. And let me say this: I got something coming up for the people who live in Houston and the surrounding areas. Something in July I'm planning that I want to do. I wanted to do it last year, but it was some things that popped up and I couldn't get it done. And so I want to make sure that I get it done, this year. And so for everybody who supports the Texans Tailgate Talk, for everybody who supports Sports Talk with Big Sarge, for everybody who supports Big Sarge Media LLC, man, I appreciate it. And I got something coming for y'all real soon. Speaking of, look, y'all know I got to do this, right? I got to do this before we start the show. So I've been seeing a lot of graduation pictures, right? Like I seen the prom pictures, those was cool, but I'm starting to see a lot of graduation pictures. And as I'm looking at these graduation pictures, right, more and more, I'm looking at these graduation pictures more and more, and I'm saying to myself, man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful watching these kids graduate. And then in the corner, you see a dad here, a dad there. And I'm saying to myself, I must know how some of those dads who are co-parenting feel. I'll never forget. And because in the state of Texas, if you don't get it in your child support decree, and if you were never married to the woman and it's not put in your divorce decree, you only have to you only have to support them through the attorney general's office, and the mom can only receive child support up until the time that they graduate from high school. I'll never forget. When my daughter graduated from high school, I felt like I was graduating. She was crying, I was crying. She thought that I was crying because I was happy she was graduating high school. I was happy she was graduating high school, but I also was glad that I was graduating from child support. Like I could hear the sound and the song in my head. Dun, 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 dun. Wait, that's for the president, boy. That ain't, hold on. That ain't for graduation. That's for the president. Well, how the song go for the graduation? Now the time is near and I face the final curtain. I've struggled through the years and I've made it. I don't know the rest of the words. That's a Jay-Z song though. Anyway, hey, look, shout out to the dads who have been co-parenting, whose child is graduating and going on to bigger and better things. Going on to college, and now that you can support them and it doesn't have to be through the state of Texas. So I feel like not only did you graduate, but they graduated as well. Y'all give me a second. I always wanted to do this. Let's do this. Sorry, y'all. Let's go live. Oh, it still got it there. Add topic. Nope. Here we go. Let's just do it this way. There we go. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, gracias. Y tú? All right. So, once again, welcome to the Texans Happy Hour right here on the Texas Tailgate Talk channel on YouTube. Make sure you are subscribed to the Texas Tailgate Talk. What's up, Clark? Make sure you're subscribed to the Texas Tailgate Talk show, all one word. Hold on, I need to write something down. Child support, because I want to make sure we come back to that. Okay, so I was on I was on the app formerly known as Twitter, right? I was on X, and nowadays, what's going on, Senior Boble? Nowadays, I'm seeing these. I've seen I get on Twitter now, and as I get on Twitter, I just scroll through and I see different types of things. I'm trying to realign my algorithm. My algorithm at one point was terrible, and ever since a couple of years ago, I just stopped doing the politics, and so I still see some political stuff, but I try to just cleanse it. I don't want to see all that fighting that they be having on there. I don't want to see all the political stuff. So a lot of my timeline is just funny stuff, comedic videos, freestyle flows, some messy stuff. I see all the Diddy stuff, and I see sports stuff, right? Because I'm into sports, and so I see a lot of stuff that goes on with sports. And so today I was on Twitter and I stumbled across something. Now, for those of y'all who are joining me live on TikTok, you won't be able to see this, but I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you exactly what's going on and what I'm talking about. So give me a second, y'all. For those of y'all who are following me on StreamYard, I want to get to this, right? So for those of y'all watching, right, you see PFF, right? PFF has put out its rankings of all 32 NFL starting quarterbacks heading into 2025. And so I looked at this list. And when I looked at this list, I said to myself, wait a minute, hold on, time out now. I get it. I got it. Being in the media, the funniest thing to me in the media, and since I've been in the media going on 8 years, right? Sports media for over 8 years. The one thing that I really look at and laugh at is I always say people who can't create content creates confusion. People who can't create content create confusions. And when we get into this dead period like this, where there's really like no basketball and there's really no basketball. Of course, we have the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals, but we don't have a regular season schedule in basketball, and you don't have any football going on as far as the NFL is concerned. This is where you get into the list. When you see media personalities and media personnel that are supposed to be content creators, and all they have is a bunch of lists. Hey man, who do you have as the GOAT? Is it Michael Jordan? Is it LeBron? Is it Kobe? Is it Tim Duncan? Like, they start bringing out, give me your top 10 all-time NFL running backs. Give me your top 10 NFL all-time quarterbacks. So when you start getting these lists, like, I call them lazy, because there's too much. If you're a real content creator, you can create the content. You can get the content out there. You don't have to keep creating these lists, right? And so they create these lists, and I hear it on the radio. I see it on my timeline. I see it on, when I'm on other social media platforms. And I just, most of the times I just laugh and keep it moving. Or, I look at them and I just say, wow, this is crazy. And I can tell when somebody who's made a list is engagement farming, and PFF is engagement farming. Now, for those of you all who are following me on TikTok right now, who's watching me live on TikTok, I'm going to read this list off. For everybody else who's watching, you can see the list. All right, so this is PFF's ranking of all 32 NFL starting quarterbacks heading into the 2025 NFL season, right? Number 1, Pat Mahomes. Should be. Number 2, Joe Burrow. I can see that. I may have put Josh Allen right there, but I could see that. I may have even put Lamar Jackson there, but I could see that. So you have Pat Mahomes 1, Joe Burrow 2, Lamar Jackson 3, Josh Allen 4, and then you have Jalen Hurts at 5. And I get it. Don't get me wrong. I feel like I'm a huge Jalen Hurts supporter. I've been watching Jalen Hurts for a very long time. For those of y'all who've been following me over the years, you know that I have a close connection with Jalen Hurts because his uncle is my frat brother who actually pledged me at Prairie View. So his uncle is part of the Eta Gamma chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated at Prairie View, and he pledged me, and we're the same. He's my club. He's a number 10. I'm a number 10. So I know him. So that's how I know, Jalen, and I know his brother who played quarterback at Texas Southern as well. And so I'm a huge, huge fan of Jalen Hurts. I was happy to see that the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl this year, and it was Jalen Hurts and, former NFL defensive end Indy Kalu, and who used to be on In the Trenches, and I were having this discussion when he was on the Texas Tailgate Talk podcast the other day, and he said, "Hey, Sarge, I know you. Every time you make sure you make sure that you let people know that you said this a couple of years ago." And I said Jalen Hurts will have a better career with the Philadelphia Eagles than Donovan McNabb did. And I get it. Donovan McNabb went to 5 NFC championships. Donovan McNabb went to the Super Bowl. Donovan McNabb didn't win it. Jalen Hurts won it. So this top 5, I can agree with. Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, right? And then the second 5, you have Jaden Daniels, Matt Stafford, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, and Geno Smith. And then you have Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield, and this is where I have the issue with. You have C.J. Stroud ranked 20. You have C.J. Stroud ranked 14. You have C.J. Stroud ranked 14, and over him, I'm going to make sure that I write this down. You got Geno Smith. You have Geno Smith. You got Justin Herbert, right? You got Matt Stafford. You got Jared Goff. And I'm just telling you, These are the quarterbacks that are above him. You got Brock Purdy, right? These are the quarterbacks that I want to focus on. I'm not going to focus on like Jaden Daniels because I feel like that's just, recency bias. If they would have made this list, if I go back and I'm pretty sure they made this list in 2024, heading into the 2024 season, they probably would have had CJ ranked higher because of his rookie season, and Jaden Daniels had a hell of a rookie season with the Washington Commanders. I can't knock him for that. I like Jordan Love. I think that Jordan Love is a really good quarterback, and based off of last season, I'd put him over CJ. I'd put Baker Mayfield over CJ. But here's my problem, right? Here's the issue and the problem that I have. How the hell Geno Smith get over CJ? Let me stop sharing this, right? Let me stop sharing this and go back to how the hell Geno Smith is over CJ? Geno Smith. You got Geno Smith. That's all I'm gonna keep saying. Geno Smith is ranked higher than CJ Stroud heading into the 2025 season, according to PFF, right? This is why I say engagement farming. You got to watch these lists, right? You got Matt Stafford. And I don't know if that's Matt Stafford is based off of just who he is. I'm not going to say that Matt Stafford had a bad season last year. He led them I think he led them to the same spot that CJ led his team. And Matt Stafford is definitely going into the Hall of Fame. Matt Stafford is going to be a Hall of Famer, but Matt Stafford is getting old. And I don't know if I would have Matt Stafford over CJ heading into this season. Justin Herbert, this is where it gets tricky. And the reason why I say it gets tricky is because Justin Herbert, I feel like, is a really good quarterback. I just feels like, and I think that we talked about this before. I think Justin Herbert is a really good quarterback. I just think that he shrinks in big situations. Like, I can't remember a big game that was on the line and you look and you say, wow, look at the way Justin Herbert performed. I mean, just take last season in the playoffs. Like, you remember the playoff game between the Chargers and the Texans, and the one where what's his name? Ryan. But what's Buddy Ryan's son name? The one that used to coach the Jets. What's Buddy Ryan's son name that used to coach the Jets that be on ESPN? The one that said, oh, yeah, this should be like a bye week for the Chargers. Right? And the Texans heard that too. The Texans heard him say this should be a bye week for the Chargers. And I watched Justin Herbert wet the bed, for lack of a better term. I watched Justin Herbert. I'm sitting there in the press box and I'm saying to myself, yeah, he doesn't have a clue about what the hell he's doing at all, period. He does not know what Rex Ryan, thank you, HD. Rex Ryan said that it was going to be a bye week for the Chargers, and all the Texans did was beat them. What was the final score? Like 32-12 or something like that, 30-12. And so if you're basing this off of just regular season, then I can say, okay, there are some intangibles that I see in Justin Herbert that may put him over CJ as far as the regular season is concerned, going into CJ's third year. Now, by year 5, I'm saying I should be saying there's no possible way that you could mention Justin Herbert and CJ Stroud in the same breath. No possible way. There's no possible way. So I think it's blasphemy, like you said, HD. It's blasphemy to have Geno Smith over him. I think that it's blasphemy, honestly, to have Matthew Stafford over him. I think that it's blasphemy to put Brock Purdy, because for everything that they gave Brock Purdy a pass for last season, and the reason why they say he didn't have a good season was because they had a lot of injuries. They sustained a lot of injuries. I mean, it's exactly what happened to the Houston Texans. It's exactly what happened to the Houston Texans. So how can you have Brock Purdy over CJ? Now, what I did, I'm going to tell you this. What I did was I went and I pulled it up. I wanted to see why PFF said what they said, right? And so let's see what they say about Brock Purdy. Purdy may be a product of the system, and surrounding talent, but he still led one of the NFL's most efficient offenses over the past 3 seasons. His play dipped slightly in 2024 as the 49ers battled injury across the offensive line and receiving core. What the hell? The hell y'all talking about, PFF? And don't get me wrong, I like PFF. I do. I like PFF. I just know when you're engagement farming. His play dipped, and we're talking about Brock Purdy, quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, who just got paid. And actually, I mean, CJ should be a fan of Brock Purdy because he drove that price up. And yes, look, today's prices ain't gonna yesterday's prices ain't gonna be today's prices when it's time to pay CJ. They say his play dipped slightly in 2024 as the 49ers battled injuries across the offensive line and receiving core. Sound familiar? Yet he still posted the league's top success rate over the past 2 years alongside the 7th best 90-point PFF grade. No possible way you have Brock Purdy over C.J. Stroud heading into 2025. Just no possible way. They have him up there. So this is what they have. The first 5 is what they call elite, tier 1 elite. Tier 2, high-end starters. And that's where you got Jaden Daniels and you got Matthew Stafford and Justin Herbert. Let's read what they said about Justin Herbert. Herbert might be the best regular season quarterback in non-clutch situations. I said that. And don't think that I read this before. All I did was pulled it up because I said I wanted to have some type of basis for you all when I read this. But reading this right now, is that not exactly what I said a couple of days ago when we started talking about Justin Herbert? When we were talking about when Houston Stresses and John Crumpler was talking about where the offense could be ranked this year, and I said I feel like that the Los Angeles Chargers could have a top 5 offense. I just don't believe in Justin Herbert. And what did I say? The reason why I said I didn't believe in it. Hey, go to Texas Tailgate Talk, all one word on YouTube. Click on the happy hour from the other day, and you'll see. It's exactly what I said. Exactly what I said. Herbert might be the best regular season quarterback in non-clutch situations. His 91 overall grade over the past 3 seasons ranks him 6th, and when excluding playoff performances, this is why you all listen to Big Sarge. This is why you support Big Sarge, because I ain't got no fans. I have no fans. Everybody who is a part of this Big Sarge experience are supporters of everything that I do. When I see people out, I just seen somebody the other day. Hey, Sarge, I'm a big fan. No, you're not a fan. You're a supporter. Don't call nobody no fan. I ain't got no fans. I got supporters, people who support me. But this is why. This is why you come and hear me talk. This is why you follow me, because of the things that I say. And then you go back and you say, damn, Sarge was right. Yeah. Yeah, don't be listening to them other people who be like, Sarge doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, they got personal issues with Sarge, but that's because I make them duck their head when I walk into a room. That's another story for another time. All right. His 91 overall grade over the past 3 seasons ranks 6th, and when excluding playoff performances, his passing grade actually tops Patrick Mahomes. In standard game situations outside of late game or high pressure moment, Herbert owns the 2nd highest passing grade in the league. With another year under Jim Harbaugh and improved weapons around him, we'll see if he can finally get over the. Hold on, let me get back to these comments. Hey, didn't I say that, y'all? I said that, right? I said that about Justin Herbert, right? Buzz and Petty Truth checking in. But I said that, right? Texas could win Super Bowl this year, and PFF will grade the season a C- overall for Trey Tunsil. But I said this about Justin Herbert just the other day. Before I even came across this PFF ranking and everything that they had, I just said this the other day about Justin Herbert. I said, how can some say Justin Herbert is a better quarterback than I said they could have a top 5, top 10. I didn't say 5. I said the Chargers could have a top 10 regular season offense. But I don't trust Herbert because He does not perform in the playoffs. And in clutch situations, he chokes. So heading into the season, and based off of what you've seen, when Justin Herbert went up against a very good defense in the Houston Texans, they made him look like garbage. Now, one of the most efficient passers in the game last season, who led a pretty good team in the Detroit Lions, and Jared Goff. Texans defense made him look bad too. I'm just saying. The offense could have scored in the second half. The offense could have played a little bit better. And hold on, including C.J. Stroud. If C.J. Stroud would have played better against the Lions in the second half, they would have won. That defense played outstanding, and it made Jared Goff look like trash. Garbage. But they got Jared Goff as a better quarterback than CJ heading into 2025. They got Geno Smith better. They got Justin Herbert better. They got Matt Stafford better. And they got Brock Purdy better. Let's go and see why they're saying that they don't think that CJ is worthy of being in the top 10. Tier 3, they have solid starters who have flashed high-end play. Goff has piloted one of the NFL's most productive offenses over the past 2 seasons, earning an 84.8 passing grade over that span, the 7th best in the league. We'll soon find out how much of that success was tied to Ben Johnson, now the Bears head coach, but the result speaks for themselves. Goff has been a top 10 quarterback over the last 2 years. Goff has played. He did. I'm not taking that from him. And I don't really knock them for putting Jared Goff over CJ, because Jared Goff played very well last year. I cannot knock him. And since he's been with the Lions, it looked like, and it could have been a product of Ben Johnson. This is where the blasphemy starts, though. Geno Smith with the Raiders. Few would have pegged Smith to grade as the 6th best passer in the NFL over the past 2 seasons. But here we are. In fact, his 85.8 passing grade in that span is just 0.2 points shy of Patrick Mahomes. After being traded for a 3rd-round pick this offseason, Smith should enjoy an improved offensive line, but a downgrade in receiving weapons. He protects the football and has a knack for generating big-time throws. Smith should enjoy an improved offensive line, but a downgrade in receiving weapons. How many of you all think that the Las Vegas Raiders are going to have a better season than the Houston Texans? Don't worry. I'll wait. I got time. How many of you all think that Geno Smith and the Las Vegas Raiders are going to be better than C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans this year? Both teams, barring injuries, don't have no injuries. How many of you all think that that's going to happen? It's crazy to me, PFF. That's crazy to me, PFF, for you to do that. Hold on. It's Texas Happy Hour right here on the Texas Tailgate Talk channel. Hold on. Gotta give me another drink. Are you out of your freaking minds? What the hell are you doing? And like I said, I get it. Your engagement farming. I got it. I read about Brock Purdy. I think that Jordan Love and some of these, a lot of these quarterbacks outside of like Jaden Daniels is older than CJ. They've been in the league longer than CJ. Some of these quarterbacks that they have above him been in the league longer than CJ, right? And came into a better situation than CJ. Some of y'all think, hey, man, you just here to give CJ a pass. No, because when I read about why they have CJ ranked, we're going to talk about that. Jordan Love, I think that he should be over CJ. Do not get me wrong. Peter Bukowski, who does Locked On Packers, him and I have this back and forth because he always thinks that that Jordan Love is head and shoulders above CJ. And I'm like, even after 2 years, I can't say that Jordan Love is head and shoulders above CJ. I will give him that he is good. I will. I will give him that he was good. But just like when I was on the Locked On Packers show last season before the Packers and the Texans played, I told him, hey man, I like Jordan Love, but like Jordan Love doesn't blow me away. My wife is a Green Bay Packers fan. And when I say fan, I'm talking about like super duper fan. Like I watch as damn near as many Packers games as I do Texans games. And I covered the Houston Texans. I watched the Green Bay Packers. So I said, bro, I watched Jordan Love. And I know that he shrinks sometimes. So I wouldn't say he's head and shoulders above CJ. And I think that get CJ, like I said, give CJ 5 years in the league. Give him something constant. Give him a constant offensive coordinator, a constant offensive line. And let's just see what he can do. But I think that Jordan Love should be over him. Baker Mayfield, they have him over him. And I think they should too. Now, I don't want to cheat you all, so I'm going to read what they said about Jordan Love. When ranking quarterbacks in this tier, it's almost a dart throwing, trying to predict the level of play you'll get. And this is the tier 3B, solid starters, but they need more help. Jordan Love's late season run in 2023 was a stellar mix of big-time throws and sound decision-making, but couldn't carry the momentum into 2024. His big-time throw rate dropped from 5.6% to 3.5%. If he can recapture 2023 groove, like CJ, Love has both the talent and mindset to make a run at the NFC crown. Baker Mayfield is 13. Mayfield has pulled off a remarkable career turnaround after bouncing back in 2023. He delivered the best season of his career in 2024, earning an 85.9 overall grade. He'll now be working with his third offensive coordinator in 3 years and his fifth since 2022. But the struggles of 2021-22 feel firmly in the rearview mirror. His 2024 campaign also featured one of the wildest plays of the season, completing a pass to one of the league's top rushers draped all over him. So I will say this, right? I will say when I'm looking at this, because they got tier 3A solid starters who have flashed high-end play, and they got Jared Goff, Geno Smith, and Brock Purdy. And then they got solid starters, but they need more help, and they got Jordan Love, and they got Baker Mayfield. When I go back up here, I would definitely put Jordan Love over Geno Smith. I would put Baker Mayfield over Geno Smith. I will probably put Baker Mayfield over Matthew Stafford. But I get it and I understand. And so in this tier 3B, and this is where they have CJ, right? So now let me go back here. Let me read some of these comments on what y'all are saying. And y'all tell me, right? Sideline Sarah says Jordan Love has one of the best O-lines, offensive play callers. He was only sacked 14 times last season. Jordan Love, exactly. Yeah. They got one. In the person who's calling the plays. Certified Texan says, I'm glad they ranked CJ low. I hope it pisses him off and he uses it as fuel like Michael Jordan used to. Hey, I can definitely understand that. Tay said, "Oh, this happy hour, Sarge. Thought this was Texas tailgate. Let's get it. Yeah, this is the happy hour that's sponsored by Texas Tailgate Talk Podcast. Big Sarge, I really have to wait and see how our O-line is and how CJ plays this year. No, I get that. Raiders won't even have a better record than the Broncos. Exactly. They won't. They will not have one better than the Broncos. So, let me see what else. Let me look up some. Sideline Sarah says the LA Chargers played a 4-play schedule last season because they went 5-12 in 2023. Exactly. So now Jordan Love is a more athletic Brett Favre. He gonna throw that down there regardless of how many folks. Hey, look. Hey, Tay is talking about Jordan Love. He said, and this for the people that's watching on TikTok. He said Jordan Love is a more athletic Brett Favre. He's going to throw that down there regardless of how many folks is guarding his receivers. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of what year was that? What year was that who gotta eat them dubs. Jameis Winston. What year was it that he threw all those interceptions? Because Jameis was like, hey, somebody gonna catch this bitch. Hey, I'm gonna throw it down there. Somebody gonna catch it. Either my man gonna catch it or the defense gonna catch it, but somebody finna catch this. Thank y'all for joining me on TikTok Live. I gotta go. I will be back. What'd he say? Hey, somebody gonna catch it. Somebody down there is going to catch this pass. I don't know who it's gonna be, but somebody is gonna catch it. And that's exactly what he did. And what he had, like 30 plus interceptions. And like, yep, that boy J-Mo went 30 for 30. Yes, Tay, he did. 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. That boy said, hey. I felt like Jameis would look down and be like, oh, that's cool. I see. Oh, there go Mike Evans. I don't care about the other three people around him. I practiced this throw back in Bessemer. Now we're just going to watch. And how do you play that long in the NFL and you can't see? How the hell did Jameis Winston play in the league for that long and he couldn't see? He finally got his eyes fixed and they cut him. Hey, where is Jameis at now? In with the Giants, right? Is him and Mr. Sierra? Him and Mr. Sierra are just placeholders until they can get Jackson Dart up to speed, right? Then they that man is pure entertainment. He is Alexis. Hey, didn't they they drafted Jackson Dart in New York, right? So they're just placeholders. Jameis Winston and Mr. Sierra, they just Russell Wilson is who I call Mr. Sierra. Just in case y'all wanted to know. Right? So let me go and read. And for those of you all who are just joining me, I'm talking about this blasphemy that PFF did with these quarterback rankings heading into 2025 and where they have CJ Stroud ranked. They have CJ Stroud ranked 14th, right? They have him ranked 14th. They have players such as Geno Smith over him, Brock Purdy over him. I don't believe I gotta see what Jaden Daniels is going to do because, like I said, if this was coming off of CJ's rookie year, they'd probably have him ranked just as high as they do Jaden Daniels, and I got that part. So I'm not knocking them. I think 6 may be a little high, especially because he was a rookie, putting him in the top 10 because of what he did with the Washington Commanders. I can definitely understand that. I think 6 may be a little bit too high. And so they got Justin Herbert over him, over CJ. But this is blasphemy to put Geno Smith and to put Brock Purdy, especially what Brock Purdy did last season, and looking at what, and we could even say Justin Herbert. But so now we get to CJ, right? Now we get to CJ, who's ranked 14th, in this PFF ranking of quarterbacks coming into 2025. And this is why they say they ranked CJ Stroud 14th. Stroud represents the cautionary tale for Jaden Daniels, a stellar rookie season followed by a sophomore slump. That said, he finished 2024 strong and delivered in the playoffs, leading the Texans to a wild card win over the Chargers. One glaring issue remains: his pressure to sack rate. After taking just 39 sacks as a rookie, that number ballooned to 63 in 2024, a problem that must be addressed moving forward. So they said one glaring issue remains: his pressure to sack rate. After taking just 39 sacks as a rookie, that number ballooned to 63 in 2024. And I guess my question would be, right? RG4. Wow, hold on. RG4. So my question would be, and a lot of times, I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of times the people who do these type of things, they got people that's above them. They don't give a damn about good insight or what's going on. They rarely ever reach out to the people who are actually covering the team to find out what's going on. They don't care. They just want the engagement, right? Like what we're doing right now. Oh, that boy said Club Creek. That's what I'm talking about, Senior Bowler. What you know about Club Creek? I used to live off Forum Park. You know what Toby and Wigway talks about all the time when he be rapping our forum? Yeah, we stay in the same spot. Not at the same time, but we stay in the same spot. But I understand. I understand what they're saying because the sacks did go up in CJ's second year last season. They did go up, and that was a combination. See, I'm not just here to sing all the praises of CJ Stroud, even though I think that CJ Stroud is going to be an amazing NFL quarterback. But we can honestly say he did not have a good season last year. He did not have a good season last year. And some of that was his fault. He'll tell you that. He'll admit, hey, some of that was my fault. Then we know some of it was former offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick's fault. We know there was former offensive line coach Chris Strasser's fault. And then we know it was some of the offensive line play. Because going from 39 sacks to 63 sacks, that's a lot. And for those of y'all who are joining me right now that are Texans fans, you all watched as the offensive line struggled to be able to go up when they went up against some of these top defenses and went up against some of these top defenses, and they struggled with what we always talk about, the delayed blitz and the stunts. And so we know that offensive line played bad. We know that the offensive coordinator could not duplicate the success that he had in year one. We also know that CJ Stroud did not duplicate the success that he had in year one. There were some times where CJ held on to the ball too long. There were some times that CJ looked out of sync when he was throwing the ball. Hey, what game was that where Tank was open? Was that the Lions game? Somebody tell me if I'm wrong or not. Wasn't it the Lions game where Tank was open, but the way CJ threw the pass caused the interception? That was the Lions game, right? I think that was the Lions game. Y'all give me a second, right? Let me see if I can see this right quick. Let me see if I could see this right quick. No, I don't need that. I need what week? Let me see. Y'all give me a second. Oh, shucks. Let me just go ahead and look first. Y'all give me 1 second. Y'all give me 1 second. I need to see something. No. I need to go here. And okay, so regular season, what week did they play? Okay, I was close. They played Detroit week 10. So let's go to week 10. Right. Now let's go to the Texans versus the Lions game. And then let's look at passing. And no, I want to look at the Texans passing. What are we doing here? No, I don't want that. Y'all give me 1 second because now this is on my mind. Right? This is on my mind. I need to see where was that interception? Who had the interceptions? Right? Defensive backs. He had 2 interceptions. I remember that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not looking at the comments right now. I'm just looking at I'm trying to see. Passing. CJ Stroud. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. Play by play, interception. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. This is the play that I'm talking about right here. Let me see if I can pull it up for y'all so we can look at it together. Right? No, that's not the one. That's not the one. I'm sorry, y'all. My bad. My bad. Quarter 3. Maybe this is the one. This may be the one. And I think this is the one. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Yep. This is the one. This is the one. So y'all give me a second. The Lions game when he threw the floater. Yes. Yep. That was. I just had to go back and find it because I don't want people to think that I'm trying to give CJ a pass because, like I said, CJ will even tell you he had bad games, and this is the one. Let me bring it back. No. Here we go. I could not understand this right here. Right? You got two people going. Now, I could not understand why CJ didn't let the ball go right here. Right? Because Tank is open. And in the past, CJ would have been able to get that off. It ain't like he had pressure. And this is what I can't understand. You see? And the floating gave him an opportunity to get back. Here we go again. It's another reason why y'all follow me, because y'all know we're gonna talk about it. So, and maybe, you know, maybe CJ didn't want to throw on the run. Maybe he had to set his feet. But I've seen him make this throw on the run. Right? I've seen CJ make this throw on the run. Let's go back to the sideline view. Because the Lions were beat by alignment. They were beat by alignment. And Tank did exactly what he was supposed to do. All CJ had to do was let it go here, throw it on the rope instead of floating it, because the defensive back is beat. And this is one of the reasons why I say I'm not going to give CJ a pass, because this is a bad pass. This is a bad pass. Right? We remember that one. Give me a second. The other one that he threw, let's watch that one. Here's another one. Y'all give me a second. Share the screen with y'all. Here's another one. And this was just bad. I think that this was during the first series. If this may have been, it wasn't the first play, was it? But this was the first series coming out of halftime, right? Let's look at it from this way. What do you see what's happening? Also, what do you see what's happening? What have we been talking about? Line stunts and delayed blitzes. Watch the guy that's over Titus Howard. Let me see if I can change it to this side. Watch this line stunt. Coming right behind him too. But CJ still had the time. But this is what I can. So now, right? Now I'm starting to see a lot in this play, y'all. I'm so glad y'all joined me. And you know, if y'all gotta go, I know you got to get ready for other things. I'm cool with that. What time is it? 7:30. I know y'all got to get ready to go watch that Oklahoma City versus the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference Final. But for those of y'all who gonna stick here and stay with me for the happy hour, I won't talk about it. There's a lot of things going on in this play, right? Don't like that CJ has already determined where he's going to throw. But then again, if he doesn't, because here you have who's that? Juice? Juice right here, Laramie right here. Here's Patterson. And this is how a lot of the times they were getting beat because and hey, I'm gonna say this though. It's just a good play on the ball too. It's just a good play on the ball too. But when we're looking at it, how open was Tank coming out of the break? CJ got to put that on the rope, and he has to put that further out here. And look, I ain't never played quarterback in the NFL, and we're playing Monday morning quarterback right here, so we can see, we see what's going on.
Chunk here, so just one at a time. We'll do that.
Let me see something else. Like I said, CJ has predetermined where he's going with the ball, and it's not bad. He should have just made a better throw because you also got who is this up here? Who is this coming into play right here? Who is 86? I don't remember. So, um, so yeah, so that's all I'm saying is that CJ will admit that he didn't play his best in year two, and that's what's fueled him. I've been talking to some people behind the scenes, and they've been saying CJ is more focused than anything coming into this season because he wants to prove that last season was just a fluke. Last season is not indicative of who he is and what the type of player that he is and what he's going to do. And so when you look at that and he's coming in and we still have some questions about the offensive line, the offensive line and what's going to be the certainty. I'm not going to rehash that because we've talked about that ad nauseum and y'all have heard that every place else. So we've talked about it here. We've talked about it here on more than one occasion. I won't bring it back up until we get further into training, until we get into training camp, because we have OTAs and we have mandatory minicamp coming up. And so I won't really get into the minutia of what the offensive line is going to look like because look, one thing that I can tell y'all about is I don't want I'm not going to oversaturate inundate you with the same thing. There are some people out there who feel like if they rehash and keep saying the same things over and over, that that's what the Texans fans want to hear. And some of you all may, but I'm not going to do that. And if that's what you're looking for, then Texans tailgate talk and Texans happy hour, that not. I don't need to sit here and start talking about the offensive line again or talking about the one, but we don't need to talk about the offensive line again. Let's just talk about the offensive line once we move into training camp. So coming up these next couple of weeks, there may be mention of the offensive line, but other than that, no. So I want to get back real quick though. When I say put some respect on Stroud's name, even after the season that CJ had last year, and he still was able to lead them to the divisional round. If that's a bad season for CJ, which by CJ Stroud's standards, that was not a good season. I can't help but to look forward to what a more focused CJ Stroud is going to look like coming into year 3. And I think that PFF should put some respect on CJ's name because I understand what you're looking at as far as last season, and you're taking those rankings and your engagement farming for what happened coming into this season based off of what happened last season, and you may not like the moves that they have made. I get that part, but I don't think that you're going to look up and say, damn, Geno Smith is better than CJ Stroud. Even with the terrible schedule that the Raiders are going to play, I still don't believe that. I don't believe that the San Francisco 49ers are going to I don't think that the San Francisco 49ers and Brock Purdy, and the Texans play the 49ers this year if I'm not mistaken, but I don't believe that you're going to see that big of a big of a difference as far as Brock Purdy's play. I'm not knocking Brock Purdy. When I was talking to Xavier Hutchinson, who played with Brock Purdy, matter of fact, I don't even have to talk about no, I won't even bring up Xavier Hutchinson. So y'all remember that when Jalen Petrie was at Baylor, his last season he was at Baylor, he was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, right? Jalen Petrie was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. One day I was talking to Jalen, and I was asking him, hey man, when you was going through that season, who was some of the hardest quarterbacks you played against? He said, I don't know about all of them. He said, but I know Brock Purdy was one of them. He said, hey, look, Brock Purdy, he said he's sneaky athletic. He said he's very good than what he was drafted at. And he's a good quarterback. He said he's one of the ones that gave me problems when we were in college. He said Brock Purdy gave him problems. And I'm not knocking Brock Purdy. I think that Brock Purdy went to the perfect situation playing with Kyle Shanahan. And this year, they're getting Christian McCaffrey back. They got George Kittle. They still have Brandon Ayuk, even though they lost Deebo Samuels. But I just seen too many times in too many situations where Brock Purdy looked like Mr. Irrelevant, and then there was times where he looked like he could have been MVP, honestly. And so I don't know how much I trust that. I know that even if I break it down, I still won't say that Brock Purdy had a better season than CJ did last year. And coming into this season, I don't see how you could have him ranked over him. So I don't see how Brock Purdy and Geno Smith is ranked higher than CJ Stroud. Now, I'm not saying CJ should have been in the top 10. Even if I start to put a list of quarterbacks together right now, heading into this season, based off of last season, if we're just strictly going by last season, I don't know if I could still put CJ in the top 10, but maybe I could. Y'all give me a second. Let me go back and look at this list. So, of course, Pat Mahomes 1, Joe Burrow 2, Lamar Jackson 3, Josh Allen 4, Jalen Hurts 5. Based off of last year, I would have Jaden Daniels in my top 10. I just wouldn't have him at number 6, right? I wouldn't have him at number 6. I would probably give number 6 to Jared Goff. I believe that Jared Goff had a really good season. And I know, if I'm not mistaken, it was the Commanders who beat the Lions, right? The Commanders beat the Lions. But, I mean, we can't use that because they got Justin Herbert ranked higher than CJ, and the Texans beat the Chargers in the playoffs. But just based off, I probably would have at number 6, I would probably have I would have Jared Goff because he was very efficient last year at number 6. I probably would switch them. I probably would put Jared Goff where Jaden Daniels is at 6, and I put Jaden Daniels at 9. So that means I would have Jared Goff at 6. Matthew Stafford can stay at 7. Justin Herbert can stay at 8. 9 would be Jaden Daniels. And then 10, where they have Geno Smith, I would probably put either Jordan Love or Baker Mayfield in the top 10 over Geno Smith. And then when we start to look at, so I would probably put Baker Mayfield at number 10, have Jordan Love number 11, and then I'll put CJ. I would move CJ up 2 more spots. I just think that it's blasphemy to have Geno Smith and Brock Purdy over C.J. Stroud. I do. At worst, I'm putting CJ at 12, even based off of last season. At worst, I'm putting him at 12. Putting him at 14, barely over Kyler Murray. Barely over Kyler Murray. I don't understand that. And then even at number 10, they got Geno Smith. And I was like, did Geno Smith look better? I thought Bo Nix may have looked better than Geno Smith did last year. Bo Nix for the Denver Broncos played better. I don't know if I put Bryce Young over Geno Smith, but that second half of the season, and I think that DJ Bieneme from ESPN and I talked about this the other day. Like Bryce Young had a hell of a second half of his season. There's nobody else I would move, but there's no possible way that I'm putting Brock Purdy and Geno Smith over him. So let's see what you got. There were a few throws by CJ this season that made you think he was hurt. Sarah? Oh, Sarah, are you still here? Sarah, I need sideline Sarah for this one. CJ definitely had a sophomore slump, but I think a lot had to do with he didn't trust his instincts. Queen, that is a great take. You are right. I think he had to duck off and remember who the hell exactly. That is an amazing take. And when I clip this up, I'm gonna make sure that I put this out. CJ still threw for over 4,000 yards. Justin Herbert is the West Coast version of Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, he can, but still, I don't know. Sarah, you're here. Hold on. Okay, Sarah, stay right there. Stay right there. Where did it go? See what Senior Boblé said? There were a few throws by CJ this season that made you think he was hurt. Sarah, can you speak to that, please?
This page is not set up for me.
I didn't say you. I said Sarah. Am I that country? Senior Boblé said that there was a couple of plays that made him think that CJ was hurt last season. So, and I know that this is on a delay, so she's going to catch up in just a second and she's going to put it up there. Hey, listen, Sarah was the one that pointed it out. Sarah said, hey, something doesn't look right with CJ's shoulder. Something just doesn't seem right with CJ's shoulder. It just doesn't. Something. She put this up. She said something just doesn't look right. He looks like he's hurt, right? So, what did Big Sarge do? Because I told you all time and time again, you know, I'm the eyes and the ears. I'm the eyes and the ears for a lot of Texans fans who support me. Well, even for the ones who don't support me, they like to make sure that they hear what I got to say so they can use it and create their own content. But see, Sarah said in multiple games you could visibly see it. In the Jets game, in the Ravens game, she said she'll send the link, and I'll put that link up. Send it to my Twitter, and I'll put it up. It showed this dang. So I'm gonna put this back up because this is where it gets very interesting. She said in multiple games you could visibly see it in the Jets game, and that's where it happened. CJ got hurt in the Jets game. Now, what week was that? Let me go back. Y'all give me a second. Let me look at that. That was week 9, right? Week 9. And so let's do it this way. Let me see if I can do it this way. Where is Mr. Cole? Mr. Cole. Let's look at his stats. So we said what? In week 9, let me share my screen with y'all. Let me share this screen. So we said week 9, right? He got hurt. It's 2024, right? Yeah. He got hurt in week 9. And now, although his yards, oh, hold on, it's right. I'm going the wrong way. Week 9, he got hurt, right? And then you can start to see where it just didn't look. And then he had these yards, but they didn't look effective. And they did not look effective. He did not look effective in the second halves of games. He did not look effective in second half. You could just see that there was a certified Texas certified. But you could just see that he just wasn't comfortable. And so, like I said, Sideline Sarah picked up on that. Something that I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think that I noticed that until she noticed that. And so, because there's so much that you be trying to look at, and then sometimes, I mean, Sarah got younger eyes than I got, and then we know that women are smarter than men, so she picked up on that. Well, you said there's shadow bands in there, shadow followers in Sarge's case. Yep. Just sent the Ravens game, looking for the Jets game now. Okay, and I'm gonna make sure that I reshare that, Sarah. So, like I said, going back to you got to put some respect on Stroud's name. I cannot wait, and I cannot wait to bring you all daily content about what I see once training camp starts, and we get to sit on the back of the tailgate. And don't get me wrong, I'm still going to be doing these things. So y'all make sure that y'all stick around. Please, 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 please. I'm asking you nicely, please. That ain't what I was trying to do. Please subscribe to the Texans Tailgate Talk Show. The Texans Tailgate Talk, all one word. Please subscribe on the YouTube channel. And I just started that channel last Saturday. And listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm happy. I got 44 subscribers. Like, that's 44 subscribers since Saturday. Like, that's a lot to me. And I know some people look at me, oh, man, this Texas Tailgate Talk, he only got 44 subscribers. You know what that means? That means there's 44 people out there who likes what I do, right? I love it. Now, I'm trying to get to 1,000 before the regular season starts. And let me let you in on a little secret. One of the reasons why I keep saying I want to get to 1,000 subscribers before the regular season starts is because if I get to 1,000 subscribers, one of the main things that I'm going to do once I reach 1,000 is I'm going to make sure that I buy school supplies. I'm going to get with some of these teachers. Here in Houston and the surrounding areas, and I want to make sure that I buy school supplies to help them to go within the season. That's why I keep saying, one of the main reasons I keep saying I need to get to 1,000 subscribers, because I want you all to be able to enjoy this with me. Now, if I only have 150 subscribers by going into the regular season, that's going to be cool too. I just want you all to be able to be on this ride and this journey with me. I feel like now going into this season, I'm finally, it's crazy because I feel like now I'm hitting my peak and I'm hitting my stride in this media game. Listen, let me tell you something. Some of y'all may not know this. Some of y'all may not know this, but like when I first started out, I don't have a degree in journalism. I don't have a degree in radio and television broadcasting. I don't have a degree in none of that stuff. My degree is in business information systems. My master's work that I've done was MBA work, right? Master's of Business Administration. I don't have any degree in this. Everything that I have done, everything that I have learned, I've gotten it out of the mud. That's why I have a shirt that says "Out the Mud" with a picture of a bear with mud on his face. I got this out the mud. I got this by by just hard work and dedication and listening and learning and watching and keeping my mouth closed and my ears open and my eyes. And I always knew that my work ethic, I just keep working and keep learning and keep working and keep learning. And now I feel like I've hit my stride. And one of the felt like that I'm headed towards the peak of this Texans content. That's why it's so important for me to make sure that this Texans tailgate talk is a success. Not just for me. Do I love covering the Texans? Of course I do. Do I love the NFL? Of course I do. There are the things that I'm going to be doing along with the Texans tailgate talk. Of course there is. But I feel like that there is nobody else out there in this Texans content space that can give you what I can give you. I don't think that there's nobody out here that can deliver what I can deliver. And that's entertaining, informative, knowledgeable, locker room, on the road, home. Like you all know how I do it. A lot of the things that's going to be loaded on this Texans Tailgate Talk channel is going to be on your A game with Aziz Al-Shahir. That's an exclusive thing that Aziz gives me every week. Where there's a Will, I talk to Will Anderson one time a week. Time to settle down. I talk to Tim Settle Jr. once a week. Let's go hunting with Danielle Hunter. I talk with Danielle Hunter once a week. And there's going to be some more people that I talk to. I'm trying to get locked down with Kamari Lassiter. I'm talking to him at least one time a week and putting all of that on the Texans Tailgate Talk podcast and YouTube channel. Excuse me. So you all can have it. So you all can enjoy it and share and share and see what your team is doing. What your team is doing and how your team is Joe Mixon. Yeah. I got to do something with Joe Mixon this year too. I damn in the mix. Let me write that down. In the mix. INDAMIX. I want to give you all the exclusive content. So you all who don't have the access to the locker room and talk to the players, but I do. And I want to be able to share that with you. So that's one of the reasons why I want to get these subscribers up, because I feel like there's a lot of Texans fans out there who's missing out on good quality content. Oh, yeah. Hey, and the McNairs are sitting the McNairs are going to sit down with me again on the back of the tailgate. I'm trying to get D'Amico too. I'm going to talk to D'Amico. Those of y'all who remember last year, I got an opportunity to speak exclusively with D'Amico. I probably need to reshare that. I probably need to dig in my duffel bag. Oh, which, by the way, that's going to be another segment too. I think I just heard my wife come in the door, which means that it's time for dinner. So make sure that you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Subscribe to the Texans Tailgate Talk podcast and YouTube channel. All one word, Texans Tailgate Talk. And make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. And go listen to the latest podcast that's out right now with Indy Kalu. I call it In the Trenches Reloaded. And those, some of you all will remember that Indy allowed me to be on his show In the Trenches 3 times a week before he retired. I was there until he called it quits. And what I mean called it quits, he retired from doing the show. But there is a podcast out right now where Indy is talking about his son playing football at Baylor. We talk about the NIL. We talk about the tush push. We talk about Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter, what year 3 is going to look like for C.J. Stroud. What are the expectations for the Houston Texans in year 3? So if you enjoy listening to Indy Kalu, make sure you go and listen to the Texans Tailgate Talk podcast, available wherever you get your podcast from. And I guess hey, look, go subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend who's Texans fans. Go subscribe to the Texans Tailgate Talk podcast, Texans Tailgate Talk podcast and YouTube channel. Especially, there may be something a little special for y'all Friday morning. When you get up, just check the channel. Check the channel. Might be a little something special on there for y'all. Big Sarge, I'm out.
Big Sarge.